On the day of the school sports meet, Su Ying, the class beauty, had a sudden whim to wear a lace nightgown while holding up a sign. "I just want to bring honor to our class." I gently advised her that the conference had invited numerous media outlets and that, since the school's reputation was at stake, it would be best for her not to draw unnecessary attention to herself. Su Ying took my advice and put on a modest long dress. But unexpectedly, the art major holding the sign went viral for her daring outfit. Not only was she invited to appear on a variety show, but she's also been heavily linked to a popular young actor in a couple storyline. Su Ying was green with envy. "It's all your fault, you slut, you had to stick your nose in. Otherwise, I'd be the one playing the female lead." She shoved my head hard into the toilet. Feces filled my mouth and nose, and I choked to death. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day of the school sports day. I suddenly opened my eyes. It felt as if the foul stench of sewage still lingered in my nostrils. I was coughing violently, my fingers clenched tightly around the edge of the sink. My pale face was reflected in the mirror. I trembled as I touched my neck. As smooth as ever. No bruises, no scratches. "Xiaoyu? Are you okay?" That familiar voice sent a shiver down my spine. I turned my head stiffly. Su Ying stood in the middle of the dorm room, wearing a thin black lace nightgown. She was tilting her head to look at me. Sunlight streamed through the window and fell upon her delicate face, casting an angelic glow around her. But I know what kind of vicious soul lies hidden beneath that beautiful mask. My fingernails dug deep into the palm of my hand. It's today. This is the moment. In my past life, I tried to dissuade him out of kindness, but it led to my tragic death. Memories came flooding back. In my previous life, when I saw that Su Ying was planning to wear this lace nightgown to hold up a sign, I was absolutely stunned. "Hurry up and tell her that all the school administrators will be attending the school sports day." In addition, they invited representatives from various media outlets. Appearing on stage dressed like this isn't just embarrassing, it could also damage the school's reputation. I'm afraid I'll be disciplined when the time comes. Su Ying's expression immediately turned grim. She's the most popular girl in class, and what matters most to her is her image and how others perceive her. Making her lose face is more painful than killing her. At that moment, Su Ying reluctantly took off her nightgown. She then changed the subject, saying she hadn't brought any extra dresses. Su Ying clearly had another blue dress. It was her homeroom teacher, Ms. Lee, who used the class fund to buy it specifically for her to wear while holding the sign. At that moment, Su Ying's eyes were sparkling as she unwrapped the package. That is, until I saw the price tag that said 399 yuan. Her expression changed in an instant, and she casually tossed the skirt into the closet. She muttered under her breath, "This cheap street stall stuff isn't good enough for me to wear." "Yu, don't you have a Chanel dress? Can I borrow it?" Su Ying tugged at my arm, looking pitiful and acting all cute. My breath caught in my throat. That dress was a birthday gift from my mom. It was priced at 32,000 at the store, and I couldn't even bring myself to take the price tag off. But seeing her red-rimmed eyes, I nodded anyway. After Su Ying put on her skirt, she set her sights on the lipstick on my vanity. "Can I borrow this new YSL shade too?" Before I could answer, she had already twisted open the lipstick and applied it to her lips. Once she had finished getting ready, she began striking poses in front of the mirror. I took a dozen or so photos, carefully edited them, and posted them on Moments. My new Chanel dress, it looks absolutely stunning paired with the new YSL shade. In less than 3 minutes, the crowd below went wild. "Oh my gosh, Ying is so beautiful. This dress must cost tens of thousands, right? I'm so jealous." Su Ying was proudly scrolling through the comments, a smile stretching from one ear to the other. When she turned to look at me, her gaze grew cold. "Yu, I already posted a photo of this dress on my Moments. Please don't ever wear it to school, okay?" I felt a little uneasy, but in the end, I didn't say anything. However, no one could have imagined it. Yu, a female student from the art department who was holding a sign, unexpectedly went viral beyond her circle due to her daring outfit. She won the title of campus queen in one fell swoop. Not only was she invited to appear on a variety show, but she also sparked intense rumors of a romance with a popular young actor. When Su Ying found out, she was consumed with jealousy and blamed everything on me. "It's all your fault, you bitch, for sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, otherwise, I'd be the one who became a movie star." One day, she was in the bathroom and told me the toilet paper was out, so I went to get some. But as soon as I walked in, she wrapped a piece of wire around my neck. She forcefully shoved my head down into the toilet she had just flushed. Feces and sewage instantly poured into my mouth and nose. I struggled with all my might, but I was no match for her madness. "Go to hell! You're the one who ruined my dream of becoming a star." In the end, I suffocated to death in excruciating pain. "What are you spacing out for?" Su Ying's impatient voice rang out. The memory came to an abrupt halt. I took a deep breath and suppressed the hatred churning in my chest. "It's okay, I just choked on my own saliva." Su Ying pursed her lips, then quickly turned her attention back to the nightgown. "Then quick, take a look, how would I look holding up a sign in this skirt?" I gave her a sincere smile. "I think it looks really great, it'll definitely make you the center of attention." Su Ying's eyes lit up. "Really? Don't you think that's a bit over the top?" "No way." I came out of the restroom and, putting on a serious face, offered a suggestion. "Isn't this pure sensuality style all the rage right now? Just look at those influencers on TikTok, they dress way more daring than this." A look of hesitation flashed across Su Ying's face. I pressed the point further. "Didn't that girl from the physics department at our school recently wear a nightgown to the physical fitness test? The photos went viral online, and she was even invited to shoot a commercial afterward, right?" Those words acted like a key, unlocking the desire in Su Ying's eyes. She spun around excitedly. "You're right, girls who aren't afraid to show who they are all the rage right now. It'd be such a shame not to make a splash at a big event like this." My gaze fell on the celebrity poster hanging on Su Ying's bedside wall. In her past life, Yu gained the attention Su Ying had always dreamed of by wearing daring outfits that made her stand out. And now, history is about to repeat itself. However, this time I'm going to let it play out in a completely different way. "But..." I started to say something, then stopped short. "But what?" Su Ying frowned. "If that's all there is to it, it might not be quite as explosive." I walked up to her, pretending to take a close look at the dress. "Look here, if you add a belt to raise the waistline, it'll make your legs look longer. And as for the neckline, lowering it just a little will draw more attention." Su Ying's eyes lit up. I had no idea you knew so much about this." "I just happen to have a diamond-encrusted belt." I smiled as I watched her busy back, my gaze growing cold. In my past life, I was too naive. I thought that treating people with sincerity would earn me their goodwill. Now I know that to deal with a venomous snake, you have to be even more venomous than it is. Half an hour later, Su Ying, who looked completely different from her innocent image, appeared in the mirror. After I casually mentioned that the camera would make my makeup look heavy. Su Ying also put on heavy makeup with winged eyeliner and bright red lipstick. Oh my gosh, I hardly recognize myself anymore. Today, I'm going to drive all the men wild. She spun around in front of the mirror, feeling both nervous and excited. I smiled and handed her a light jacket. "Put this on first, then take it off right before you go on stage, the effect will be absolutely stunning." The opening ceremony of the school sports meet. Colorful flags fluttered in the breeze, and the air was filled with the sound of cheering crowds. The podium was already filled with school administrators. Next to the guest seating area was a media section packed with cameras and other equipment. I stood in the class formation, a slight smile playing on my lips. And now, please welcome the Faculty of Liberal Arts team as they take the field. As the music began to play, Su Ying took a deep breath. With all eyes on her, she suddenly ripped off her coat. The entire venue fell silent in an instant. The next second, a deafening chorus of gasps erupted. What's going on? Isn't that a nightgown? The College of Liberal Arts is really going all out? Su Ying's lace nightgown was slightly see-through in the sunlight. The belt pulled the hem of the skirt up to the top of her thighs, and the neckline was so low that she was almost exposing herself. Wearing 10-centimeter high heels, she swayed her hips as she walked at the front of the line, a smile she thought was charming playing on her face. Wang Meng, her roommate sitting next to her, gasped, "Has Su Ying lost her mind?" Another roommate, Zhang Yu, widened her eyes. "Yu, what's going on? Didn't the advisor buy her a skirt on purpose?" Since they were competing in track and field events, the two of them went to practice first thing in the morning. Of course, he didn't know about this. I pretended to be flustered. "I don't know either. She asked me what I thought this morning, and I just said it looked pretty nice." On the podium, the school administrator's faces had turned as dark as the bottom of a pot. I saw the principal stand up in anger, but a teacher standing next to him grabbed his arm. Flashbulbs were going off frantically in the press area, and several male reporters excitedly stood up to take pictures. "Hurry up and take a picture, this is definitely going to trend." Su Ying seemed to take this as a compliment, and her gait became even more alluring. She even stopped halfway through to blow a kiss at the camera. Her out-of-the-ordinary behavior caused a stir among the entire group. I heard a few classmates calling out Su Ying loudly from behind. But she acted as if she hadn't heard a word and didn't hold back in the slightest. Until Class 1 of the College of Liberal Arts. Leave immediately. Suddenly, Mr. Lee's furious shout came over the intercom. Su Ying finally realized something was wrong, and her smile froze on her face. She wanted to put on her coat, but it was too late. A sudden gust of wind swept through. She frantically tried to hold down her fluttering skirt, but forgot the class roster she was holding. The heavy sign lost its balance and fell right onto her foot. The pain made her hop on one foot, but her high heels caused her to lose her balance and she stumbled. Ah! She let out a scream and lunged forward. The straps on the nightgown snapped as they were being pulled. Large swaths of snow-white skin were exposed to the sunlight. The entire audience was in an uproar. To make matters worse, the moment she fell, the hem of her skirt fluttered up. Click, click. The sound of camera shutters rang out one after another. Su Ying lay on the ground in a disheveled state, her face deathly pale. The class president sprinted over, wrapped his jacket around her, and forcibly dragged her away from the scene. The opening ceremony was forced to come to a halt. In the stands, murmurs of conversation rose and fell. "Isn't that the class beauty from the College of Liberal Arts? She usually acts all innocent and pure. That's hilarious, they'll do anything to get famous." The photo has been shared all over the school group chat, now she's really made a name for herself. I stood in the crowd, watching it all with a blank expression. Memories of a past life flashed by like a revolving lantern. When Su Ying found out that Yutian had become famous, she was furious and took her anger out on me. She mixed hair removal cream into my shampoo. She secretly poured capsaicin on my underwear. She deliberately cut my Chanel dress to shreds. It wasn't until Yutian became a massive sensation that Su Ying finally lost it and killed me. And now, the wheels of karma have only just begun to turn. As our class hurriedly left the venue, a somber mood hung over the entire formation. Teacher Lee walked at the front, his face ashen. The class monitor supported Su Ying, who was sobbing, as they followed behind. The class chat group is in an uproar. "Su Ying, are you out of your mind? Wearing a nightgown to hold up a sign? Are you desperate to become famous? Su Ying, do you realize the school administrators are all here? The media is filming? Our class has become famous throughout the school now, heh. News stories kept flooding the screen one after another, and almost everyone was blaming Su Ying. I quietly glanced up at Su Ying. She was clutching the class president's sleeve tightly, her shoulders heaving, and she looked absolutely pitiful. But I know that this is only a facade. Sure enough, as soon as they entered the lounge, Su Ying abruptly shook off the class monitor's arm. I'm clearly dressing like this to bring honor to our class. What right do you have to criticize me? Teacher Li was so furious she was shaking all over, bringing honor to the school? Wearing a nightgown? Su Ying, do you have any idea how many media outlets were there today? The principal was green with envy. Su Ying stuck out her chin defiantly and retorted, that's just because they don't understand fashion. Don't all those influencers online dress like that? Teacher Li sneered, but you're not an internet celebrity, you're a student. You represent the school's image. Su Ying suddenly turned and glared at me, it's Xiaoyu. She made me dress like this on purpose. All eyes instantly turned to me. I innocently took a step back, I was just saying the skirt itself looked nice, I didn't expect you'd actually wear it. You're full of it. Su Ying rushed over to grab me, you're the one who egged me on. The class monitor stopped her in her tracks, enough. You're asking for trouble yourself, and now you want to drag others down with you? Teacher Li rubbed his temples, Su Ying, you're disqualified from all awards. Write a 5,000-character self-criticism and turn it into my office tomorrow. Su Ying's face went pale in an instant, why? Teacher Li snapped, how dare you bring shame on the school? Right now, this very moment, get back to your dorm and reflect on your actions. Su Ying ran out of the break room in tears, shooting me a fierce glare as she left. Watching her storm off in a huff, I smiled softly. This is just the beginning, honey. When she got back to her dorm, Su Ying slammed the door so hard it shook the building. Xiaoyu. You bitch. She grabbed the water glass on the table and threw it at me. I dodged to the side, and the glass cup shattered against the wall, sending shards flying everywhere. Did you do that on purpose to make me look like a fool? Now the whole school is laughing at me. Su Ying screamed hysterically, her makeup smeared across her face, making her look just like a hideous female ghost. I feigned hurt, Ying, I was just making a suggestion. You were the one who decided to wear that skirt, and you did your own makeup. Shut up. She rushed up to me, just as she was about to raise her hand to slap me. The dorm room door suddenly swung open. Wang Meng and Zhang Yu burst in, both with strange expressions on their faces. Wang Meng held out her phone, Su Ying. You've got to check the school forum. Yu Tian from the art department, she. Upon hearing that name, Su Ying froze. She snatched the phone from him, and the top post was none other than the most beautiful banner girl at the school sports day. Art department student Yu Tian stuns the crowd in a cheongsam. In the accompanying photo, Yu Tian is wearing a modernized cheongsam with a bold, fully bare back and an extremely cinched waist, yet her makeup is dignified and fresh, and every gesture exudes elegance. The comments section is abuzz. Campus queen Yu Tian is on fire. Innocent yet seductive. That body is amazing. Please give me your contact info. Compared to that girl in the nightgown from the College of Liberal Arts, it's like night and day. Su Ying scrolled down and quickly found her post. Shocking! College of Liberal Arts class beauty has a wardrobe malfunction in public, high resolution, and censored photos are here. The comments below, however, were full of sarcasm. Haha, who is this girl? Wearing a nightgown to the school sports day? The most popular girl in the College of Liberal Arts, she acts all high and mighty all the time. Compared to the art department's goddess, this guy is nothing but a clown. Another post even directly compared photos of the two. Caption, both are sexy, but one looks like a streetwalker, while the other looks like a well-bred young lady. Su Ying dug her fingers deep into the palm of her hand. She squeezed the phone screen so hard it made a creaking sound as if it were about to break. Who does Yu Tian think he is? She gritted her teeth, her eyes swirling with twisted jealousy. That bitch is dressed even more revealingly than I am. Why does she get all the compliments? Why? I casually added, I heard a variety show has already reached out to her. Su Ying whipped her head around, her gaze as sharp as a poison-tipped knife. What? Who told you that? I pointed to my phone. It's been going around the school group chat. Apparently it's the production team for ** Heart-Pounding Journey **, and she's going to be Lu Zai's partner. Lu Zai, a rising star with a massive online following. The point is, Su Ying's screensaver is him. She's what you might call a wife fan. Lu Zhihe? Su Ying's pupils suddenly contracted, and her voice was so shrill it was almost breaking. What gives that bitch the right? Does she even deserve it? That's my husband. As I looked at her contorted face, I sneered inwardly. I gently patted her on the back. Ying, don't be upset. Actually, I think you're much prettier than Yu Tian. She slapped my hand away. Get lost. Stop being so phony. Feeling wronged, I pulled my hand back and opened TikTok, holding it up in front of her. Look, more than 3,000 people are already following your account. Su Ying's tirade came to an abrupt halt. She snatched my phone from me and, trembling, scrolled through the new followers and comments. I leaned in close to her. Look at the comments section, so many people are sticking up for you. The ones bashing you are just jealous of your beauty and great figure. How could Su Ying possibly know that half of those fans were ones I bought for her? And those comments encouraging her were also posted by people I paid to do so. I had already mapped out the path of no return she was about to take. All we have to do now is lure her into the trap. Su Ying grew more and more excited as she watched, a sickly gleam lighting up her eyes. You're right. Those people are just jealous of me. If that bitch Yu Tian can show off, why can't I? I clicked on Yu Tian's latest TikTok video. Wearing that cheongsam, she turned gracefully in front of the camera. The caption reads, "Thank you all for your support." The comments section has been flooded with fans fawning praise. I gently coaxed her. Ying, you're really in the spotlight right now. Why don't you make a video too? Just talk about how women have the right to dress as they please. It's sure to resonate with people. Who knows, you might even become an internet sensation. That remark struck a nerve with Su Ying's vanity. She jumped to her feet. The tear streaks on her face hadn't even dried yet, but her expression had already turned to one of excitement. You're right. I'll record a video right now. I thoughtfully set up her phone for her, adjusted the lighting, and even handed her a compact to touch up her makeup. Su Ying smoothed her hair in front of the camera, then suddenly turned to me and asked, "How should I put this?" I pretended to think. For example, what I wear is my own choice, and speaking out against body shaming, feminist issues are all the rage right now. After a brief pause, I casually added, "You might as well mention Yu Tian. You were both dressed revealingly, so why are you the only one getting criticized?" Su Ying's eyes lit up, and she immediately pressed the record button. I stood there silently, the corners of my mouth turning up slightly. Yu Tian, Yu Tian. The surname Yu is so rare. Even in my previous life, I always had my doubts about Yu Tian's sudden rise to fame. Later, I asked a relative who works in the entertainment industry. Only then did I realize that this was no coincidence at all. That's even why so many media outlets were invited to the school sports day. It was all to help Yu Tian launch her career. The financial backing behind her is unimaginable. If Su Ying dares to set up a staged accident involving Yu Tian, it will only backfire. Half an hour later, a sensational video was released. In the footage, Su Ying is wearing that lace nightgown, her eyes red-rimmed, her voice choked with emotion. Hi, everyone. I'm Su Ying. Today at the school sports day, I was mocked by the entire school because of my style of dress. But I want to say that women have the right to dress however they want. There's just too much hostility toward women in this society. In the video, Su Ying wept as she denounced the oppression she had suffered at the hands of others. She even went out of her way to post a screenshot of a backless photo of Yution for comparison. Why is she considered a goddess when she dresses like that, but I get criticized? That's not fair. I bought her 5,000 yuan worth of advertising right away. In less than an hour, the video surpassed 500,000 views. Oh my gosh! I'm famous! Su Ying stared at her phone and screamed. The comments section had already exploded with activity. Support our sisters! Freedom to dress as we please! Aren't some people just way too hypocritical? This girl is so brave. I've gone from being a hater to a fan. But it wasn't long before skepticism began to surface. This is hilarious. She actually has the nerve to wear a nightgown to the school sports day? Have some decency. Freedom of dress depends on the occasion. Is a school sports day really the place to wear a nightgown? Please stop trying to copy Yution, okay? Her cheongsam is tasteful and sexy, yours is just tacky and revealing. Su Ying completely ignored the negative comments and just stared at her steadily rising follower count, grinning to herself. 10,000. I already have 10,000 followers. I chimed in at just the right moment. Why don't we do a live stream? That's the hottest thing right now. Su Ying nodded vigorously. The moment the live stream started, the number of viewers surpassed 1,000. Su Ying struck a series of exaggerated poses for the camera while answering questions from the livestream comments. Yes, I'm the girl from today's school sports day. No, I don't regret it, I thought it was beautiful. Suddenly, a comment floated across the screen. I heard you act all high and mighty in class, but behind the scenes you're flirting with a senior who already has a girlfriend? Su Ying's expression changed instantly. Who said that? That's a rumor. But immediately afterward, a flurry of revealing comments began pouring in. Last semester, you deliberately spilled milk tea on me in the study room, just because I was wearing the same dress as you. Everyone in the College of Liberal Arts knows you falsely accused someone of cheating just to get a scholarship. Your ex-boyfriend revealed that you were cheating on him with 3 guys at the same time. Su Ying's expression grew increasingly grim. She frantically tried to turn off the live stream, but accidentally pressed the filter button. In an instant, her heavily made-up face was laid bare before the camera. Flaking, fine lines, and pimples are all clearly visible. The comment stream exploded instantly. That's way too big a difference. Ha 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 ha, is this what they call the class beauty? Haha, this is hilarious, it's totally unwatchable without the beauty filter. Su Ying let out a scream and turned off the live stream. She turned around and took her anger out on me. It's all because of your lousy idea. You made me look like a fool on my live stream. I was just suggesting you go live, who knew you had so much dirt on you? I curled up in the corner, pretending to be hurt, but inside I was laughing sarcastically. Although some of the revelations in the live stream were a bit exaggerated, they were by no means all slander. Take the scholarship requirement, for example. At the end of last semester, our class held a selection process for the national scholarship. Based on her grades and overall performance, the title should have gone to Lin Nan, the top student. Lin Nan comes from a poor family. Her father died when she was young, and her mother sells vegetables at the market to support her education. This scholarship is crucial for her. The day before the selection, Su Ying suddenly posted a few photos in the class chat group. In the photo, Lin Nan and a middle-aged man are seen leaving a hotel acting affectionately toward each other. I never would have thought the top student in our class would be up to this kind of thing behind our backs. Su Ying said sarcastically in the group chat. As soon as the photo was released, the whole class was in an uproar. Lin Nan explained through her tears that he was her uncle who had come to the city for medical treatment and that she had simply taken him to a hotel to settle him in. But the rumors had already spread, and Lin Nan's reputation was completely ruined. In the end, the scholarship went to Su Ying, who ranked 5th. She used the money to buy the latest iPhone and made a point of showing it off in front of Lin Nan. Some people just deserve to be poor their whole lives. With these thoughts in mind, the look in my eyes as I gazed at Su Ying grew even colder. I took a deep breath and put on a worried expression. Ying, don't worry about those haters. The hated but popular trend is all the rage right now. The more people bash you, the more famous you get. Su Ying paused as she wiped away her tears. What do you mean? I clicked on the accounts of a few controversial influencers. Look at those influencers. Which one didn't become famous because they were criticized? Even if it's negative fame, it's still fame. Since you're getting so much attention right now, why not just go all in on a down-to-earth persona? Su Ying's eyes gradually lit up. That's right. All those people who are bashing me are just helping me get more attention. She picked up her phone and started frantically replying to the negative comments. You say I'm ugly? You ugly toad, you're not even worthy of tying my shoes. That scholarship was mine to begin with. That top student was secretly sleeping with an older man. Yu Tian can wear a backless dress? But I can't wear a nightgown? She's practically showing her butt crack. How tacky is that? Every reply was incredibly harsh, and the comments section instantly erupted. I looked at Su Ying's contorted profile and sneered inwardly. She'll find out soon enough. What does the saying, the higher you climb, the harder you fall, mean? Su Ying's response to the negative comments spread like wildfire, setting the entire internet ablaze in just a few hours. The hashtag sleeping gown sister from College A's School of Liberal Arts spars with netizens hashtag has surpassed 200 million views. Her number of followers skyrocketed to 100,000. But when you click on the comments section, almost all of the posts are filled with mockery and insults. She had just finished replying to a comment insulting her when she suddenly screamed, "Oh my gosh." The production team of *Heart-Pounding Journey* sent me a private message. I'm going to meet Lu Zai. My pupils contracted slightly. It was through this show that Yu Tian skyrocketed to fame in her previous life and became a rising star. And now, the show's production team has actually reached out to the infamous Su Ying? This is completely unexpected and highly unusual. I leaned in to look at her phone screen. Dear Ms. Su Ying, we've noticed your popularity online and would like to invite you to participate in the recording of the 3rd episode of *Heart-Pounding Journey*, where you'll interact with guests such as Lu Shihe and Yu Tian. I narrowed my eyes. Something's not right. Given Su Ying's current reputation, why would the show's producers take the risk of casting her? Unless they intended to use Su Ying's crudeness and rudeness to highlight Yu Tian's elegance and grace. After all, Yu Tian has the backing of powerful investors, while Su Ying is nothing more than a mere clown. At that thought, a cold smile tugged at the corners of my mouth. With such a spectacular scene, how could I possibly miss it? I pretended to be surprised and grabbed Su Ying's hand. Oh my gosh. Ying, you're going to be a star. Su Ying lifted her chin smugly, a flash of jealousy crossing her eyes. Once I become famous, I'll be the first to blacklist Yu Tian. She turned and stared at my closet. Yu, I remember you have a Chanel dress, right? Lend it to me to wear on the show. My breath caught in my throat. That Chanel dress my mom gave me in my past life, she cut it to shreds. This time, I won't let Su Ying get her hands on it. I looked troubled and said, I'm sorry Ying, but I sent that dress to the dry cleaners. Su Ying's expression immediately darkened. I quickly added, but I have another one from Dior, it's even prettier than that one. As I spoke, I pulled an elegant black dress from the back of my closet. Su Ying's eyes lit up. Is this the new Dior collection? Yeah, I just bought it last week. I lied, keeping a straight face. Actually, it's just a knockoff I bought on Taobao. It only cost me a little over 100. But with Su Ying's eyesight, she simply couldn't tell the difference. She couldn't wait. She snatched the dress and held it up to herself. It looks so good. I took the opportunity to suggest, Ying, can you take me with you to the show's production team? I'll be your assistant. Su Ying frowned. What are you going there for? I blinked. By then, everyone else will have an assistant except you. How embarrassing. That remark struck a nerve with Su Ying's vanity. She hesitated for a moment, then reluctantly nodded, all right, but you'd better be smart about this, don't embarrass me. The day of the show's taping. As her assistant, I followed Su Ying onto the set of *Heart-Pounding Journey Star. This is an outdoor reality show that is streamed live from start to finish and emphasizes authenticity. The location is a scenic resort. From a distance, I could see Tian standing in the center, surrounded by everyone like a star in the midst of a constellation. She was wearing a simple little white dress, which made her skin look as smooth as cream and gave her an ethereal air. Lu Jihe stood beside her. The two of them were chatting about something, both smiling radiantly. Su Ying dug her nails into my arm. You slut. You seduced my husband. I gasped in pain and sneered inwardly. Lu Jihuan, you don't even know who he is, and he's already your husband? Su Ying released her grip on my hand, puffed out her chest, and walked toward Lu Jihe in her high heels. I rubbed my bruised arm and watched coldly from the sidelines. She deliberately swayed her hips, and just as she neared Lu Zai, she suddenly let out a cry of "Oh my!" and fell into his arms. Lu Jihe instinctively reached out to steady her. Su Ying took the opportunity to press herself tightly against him, her voice so sweet it seemed as if honey were dripping from it. Jihe, big brother, I'm your biggest fan. Yu Tian was pushed aside, but she merely took a polite step back, still wearing a composed smile. Lu Jihe awkwardly pulled his hand back. Thanks for your support. Su Ying pressed closer, still not letting up. Jihe, I wore this new Dior outfit just to see you. She spun around proudly, her skirt fluttering. The corner of my mouth twitched. That Taobao knockoff was so tight on her it looked like it was about to tear, and the loose threads were even sticking out at the waist. Lu Jihe gave a forced smile. It's pretty nice. Su Ying shot a smug glance at Yu Tian, then asked with feigned innocence, Jihe, are you close with Senior Yu Tian? Lu Zai nodded. We worked together on a commercial a few days ago. Su Ying covered her mouth dramatically. Oh my gosh. That must be really hard on brother Jihe, right? I heard Senior Yu Tian loves using stand-ins. The room fell silent in an instant. Yu Tian's smile froze on her face. I narrowed my eyes. Su Ying's move was quite the drama. She directly smeared Yu Tian right in front of the camera. But Yu Tian was quick to react. Not only was she not upset, but she spoke gently. You must have misunderstood, Junior. I never use stand-ins. But I'm truly flattered that you're paying so much attention to me. These words were gentle yet pointed. They not only set the record straight but also implied that Su Ying was spreading rumors. The look in Lu Jihe's eyes as he looked at Yu Tian suddenly took on a touch of admiration. Su Ying was so angry her face turned green. She wanted to say something else. The director, however, announced that they were ready to start filming. The first part of the activity involves working on tasks in groups. There are 6 guests in total. The show's producers deliberately stirred things up by putting Su Ying, Yu Tian, and Lu Zai in the same group. The task is to pick fruit at the orchard and then sell it to tourists to earn money for the trip. Before we left, I quietly pulled Su Ying aside. Ying, make sure to have plenty of physical contact with Lu Zai later. That's what the audience loves to see the most. Su Ying impatiently shoved me away. Do I need your help? Get lost. Don't get in my way. I stepped out of the frame and watched her walk into her own downfall with a cold smile. In the orchard, the 3 of them began picking fruit. Tian moved with such efficiency that she soon had a full basket. Lu Jihe praised her in surprise. I didn't expect you to be so capable. Tian gave a shy smile. I used to help out in my grandmother's orchard all the time, so I've known how to do these things since I was little. Seeing this, Su Ying immediately cried out in a sweet, girlish voice, Jihe, big brother, I can't reach the fruit up there. Lu Zai had no choice but to walk over and help her. Su Ying took the opportunity to drape herself over him, her chest pressed tightly against his arm. The live stream's comment section instantly exploded. Is this woman out of her mind? That's such a blatant attempt to take advantage. I feel so bad for he's turned green with envy. Isn't that the nightgown girl who's been all over the news lately? She's such a turn-off. I couldn't help but laugh as I watched. The more Su Ying acted this way, the more it highlighted Tian's elegance and grace. Sure enough, during the fruit-selling segment that followed, Tian quickly sold most of the fruit thanks to her friendly demeanor. But because of Su Ying's arrogant attitude, no one was interested in her at all. Just as it looked like she was about to lose, Su Ying suddenly rushed over to Tian's stall and knocked over her fruit basket. Oops, my hand slipped. Fruit was scattered all over the ground, and some of it had already been crushed. Tian froze, and her eyes instantly welled up with tears. Lu Jihe had had enough. Su Ying, you've gone too far. Su Ying pouted in frustration. I already told you it was an accident. She turned toward the camera, and tears welled up instantly. Jihe was mean to me, and I'm so sad. The comments section went completely wild. That bitch is unbelievable. Deliberately knocking over someone's belongings and then playing the victim. Tian is way too easygoing, isn't she? If it were me, I'd have slapped her ages ago. During a break, Su Ying walked over, beaming with pride. See that? All the cameras are pointed at me, I'm the center of attention. I gave her a half-hearted thumbs up. Ying, you're so awesome. Su Ying is far more foolish than I ever imagined. She had no idea that, in full view of the entire online audience, she was taking one step after another toward the abyss. The next day, the Wilderness Survival Challenge. Guests will need to set up their own accommodations and build a fire to cook. Tian set up the tent with quick, efficient movements and even took the initiative to help the others. Lu Jihe looked at her with admiration in his eyes. Su Ying's eyes turned red with jealousy. She deliberately moved closer to Lu Jihe. Brother Jihe, can you teach me how to start a fire? As she spoke, she leaned against him. After what happened yesterday, Lu Jihe clearly didn't have a very high opinion of her. He frowned and looked away. You can ask a staff member. Su Ying wouldn't let it go. I just want you to teach me. The scene was caught on camera, and the comment stream exploded. Does this woman have any shame? Lu Jihe is clearly really annoyed. Okay. Can't we just make that bitch get lost? At lunchtime, Tian prepared a hearty meal with the limited ingredients she had. Everyone raved about it. Su Ying took a bite and spit it out. Yuck, yuck. That's disgusting. Are you trying to mess with me on purpose? Tian's face turned pale. I didn't. Lu Jihe immediately stepped in to protect Tian. Su Ying, please respect other people's hard work. Su Ying was so angry that she smashed a bowl and stormed off. The comment section was flooded with insults. What amazing manners! Where did the show's producers find these weirdos? By comparison, Tian is practically an angel. Conclusion. The director announced that Tian received the most votes, and her reward is a stay in the most luxurious room tonight. Su Ying stood up. This isn't fair. There must be some underhanded dealings going on behind the scenes. The entire audience was in an uproar. The director looked displeased. Su Ying, please watch your language. Su Ying pointed at Tian. Isn't she just relying on her looks? Who knows what underhanded tactics she's using behind the scenes? Yu-Tian's eyes were red-rimmed, but she still managed to smile. Su Ying, if you have a problem with me, we can settle it in private. Lu Zhihe stepped directly in front of Yu-Tian. Please apologize. As Su Ying watched the two of them acting so affectionate, a flicker of madness crossed her eyes. I stood in the shadows, a faint smile playing on my lips. It won't be long. She was about to lose control. That evening, the show organized a game of truth or dare. Just as the game was reaching its climax, the bottle pointed to Yu-Tian. Su Ying couldn't wait to ask, "How many men have you slept with?" The room fell silent in an instant. Yu-Tian turned pale. I didn't. Lu Zhihe jumped to his feet. Su Ying, you've gone too far. Su Ying sneered. What are you trying to pull, playing the innocent? Isn't dressing so revealing just to seduce men? Click! The director hurriedly called cut. Standing on the sidelines, I noticed that Yu-Tian gave the director a subtle wink. The director's expression changed slightly, and he said, "Keep shooting. But Su Ying, one more time and you'll have to leave the set." Su Ying proudly tilted her chin upward, clearly taking this as special treatment from the production team. She flicked her hair and gave Yu-Tian a defiant look. What? If you can't handle it, just back off. I sneered to myself. That idiot has no idea he's being used as a fool. In the control room behind the camera, the crew exchanged excited glances. This conflict is exactly the kind of ratings-boosting drama they've been hoping for. Let's continue the game, the director announced. The bottle spun again, this time pointing at Lu Zhihe. Su Ying immediately jumped in with a question. "Zhihe, what kind of girls do you like?" Lu Zhihe smiled politely. She has a gentle personality and is very understanding. Su Ying lowered her head, feigning shyness. Isn't that me? The entire venue fell silent. I almost burst out laughing. Where did she get that confidence? Next round, the director urged. The bottle turned towards Su Ying. Yu-Tian smiled gently and asked in a soft voice, "Junior, why did you choose to wear a nightgown to the school sports meet?" Su Ying's expression suddenly changed. "What's it to you?" Yu-Tian blinked innocently. "I was just curious." The comment stream exploded instantly. "Yu-Tian, you're so bold to ask that." The moment nightgown sister lost it. Yu-Tian totally crushed it this time. Su Ying's face was ashen, and her fingers were clenched tightly around the edge of the table. I know that expression all too well. That's exactly the twisted expression she had on her face before she shoved me into the toilet in her past life. I'll go get a drink. Su Ying suddenly stood up, her voice shrill. She walked over to the self-service area, and as she turned her back to the camera, I saw her pour a full glass of Coke into her cup. My heart started pounding. Here it comes, right now. When Su Ying turned around, she was already wearing an innocent smile. "Sister Yu-Tian, I brought you a cup too." She walked toward Yu-Tian, but slipped 2 steps away from him. Oh my! A full glass of iced Coke was splashed right onto Yu-Tian's chest. Watch out! Lu Zai reacted with lightning speed, stepping forward in a single bound to shield Yu-Tian, and at the same time, he took off his coat and wrapped it around her. But it was too late. A large brown stain had already spread across Yu-Tian's white dress, and the soaked fabric clung tightly to her body. The entire audience was in an uproar. What are you doing? Lu Zhihe flew into a rare rage, his handsome face darkening to a terrifying degree. Su Ying feigned panic. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." Lu Zai escorted Yu-Tian out of the room, and before leaving, he coldly remarked, "You're truly disgusting." The comment stream is scrolling like crazy. Lu Zai is so handsome. He's totally devoted to his wife. Su Ying definitely did that on purpose. Can this woman just get off the show already? The director called cut, and the crew members escorted Yu-Tian to the dressing room. Su Ying froze in place, her expression gradually contorting. After returning to the hotel, Su Ying couldn't wait to check her phone, and her expression grew increasingly grim. She slammed her phone down on the bed. What do these stupid netizens know? It's obvious that Yu Tian is the one pretending to be innocent. She's actually a bitch. I leaned in to take a closer look. It was all a montage of clips from tonight. A GIF showing Lu Shihe taking off his jacket to shield Yu Tian has been shared more than 200,000 times. The comments section is full of people saying things like "so sweet" and "they're such a great match." Meanwhile, Su Ying was labeled a scheming bitch. You bitches. You're all bitches. Su Ying screamed hysterically and swept all the cosmetics off the table onto the floor. The bottles and jars crashed onto the carpet with a dull thud, and liquid foundation splattered everywhere. I stood there, watching her lose her mind with a cold, detached gaze. Xia, you have to help me tomorrow. She suddenly turned to me, her gaze terrifyingly menacing. Tomorrow is the last day of filming. This is my only chance. I'm going to ruin that bitch Yu Tian's reputation. I took a step back, pretending to be scared. Ying, what are you trying to do? A malicious smile curled at the corners of Su Ying's mouth. Tomorrow's activity is a hot spring trip. I'm going to rip her swimsuit to shreds. I'll let everyone see how ugly she looks naked. By then, will Lu Zai still like her? My heart skipped a beat. This woman is truly evil to the core. I said timidly, I don't think this is a good idea. What if we get caught? So what if they find out? I'll just say I slipped and accidentally snagged it. My reputation's already in the gutter anyway. I'm going to drag Yu Tian down with me. Su Ying grabbed my wrist, her fingernails digging deep into my flesh. Tomorrow, find a way to distract the photographer. I'll strike while the opportunity arises. If you dare to mess this up. She raised the scissors in her other hand and waved them in front of my eyes. I'm going to slash your face with this. I nodded, feigning alarm. I understand. Only then did Su Ying let go of me with a satisfied smile and turn to take a shower in the bathroom. Listening to the sound of rushing water, I quietly sent an anonymous text message. Tomorrow at the hot springs, someone's trying to make you flash. After sending the message, I quickly deleted the chat history. My heart was pounding in my chest. I felt both nervous and excited. Su Ying, this time you're jumping right into the fire all on your own. Day 3 of filming at the hot springs resort. Amid the mist, the guests gradually changed into their swimsuits and entered the venue. Yu Tian was wearing a modest one-piece swimsuit, but even that couldn't hide her stunning figure. Lu Shihe's gaze kept drifting toward her. Su Ying saw this and her eyes turned red with jealousy. The director announced the rules. Today we'll split into men's and women's groups to soak in the hot springs, and the entire event will be live-streamed. Please be mindful of your behavior. I stood by the pool and watched as Su Ying gave me a nod. I nodded and quietly walked over to the photographer. Brother Wang, the director said to have you go film some behind-the-scenes footage at the entrance. The photographer didn't suspect anything and left with his camera. Seeing this, Su Ying slowly approached Yu Tian. Senior Yu Tian, I'm really sorry about what happened yesterday. Yu Tian leaned elegantly against the edge of the pool and smiled faintly. It's okay. Just then, Su Ying let out a cry of "oh my." She pretended to slip and lunged at Yu Tian, her hands reaching precisely for the straps of her swimsuit. In the blink of an eye, Yu Tian, as if she had been prepared for this all along, nimbly turned around, putting her back to us. At that moment, the pond water suddenly turned a blinding red. Ah! A scream pierced the silence of the hot spring area. Yu Tian clutched her left arm and curled up in pain. Blood! There's blood! The staff member shouted in terror. Lu Shihe was the first to rush into the women's bath, and his expression changed abruptly when he saw the pool filled with blood. He scooped Yu Tian out of the water. A gruesome wound stood out starkly on her fair arm, and blood gushed from it. With tears streaming down her face, Yu Tian's voice trembled. Su Ying, why are you doing this to me? I know you hate me, but this time you've gone too far. If I hadn't raised my arm to shield my face in time, my face would have been ruined. A small folding knife floated on the surface of the pond, glinting coldly in the blood-stained water. Su Ying was stunned, her face going pale. It wasn't me. That's not my knife. I stood there, unable to help but shudder. I never expected Yu Tian to be so ruthless. After seeing my anonymous text message, she played along and staged the whole thing herself. I'm afraid she must have brought that knife herself. The goal was to have everyone witness Su Ying committing the crime with their own eyes. Call the police. Call the police right away. The director stormed over, shouting, with several security guards following behind him. Su Ying was roughly dragged out of the hot spring. Let me go. It wasn't me. She struggled hysterically, and when she saw me, her eyes filled with hatred. Xiaoyu, it must have been you who betrayed me. My heart skipped a beat as I caught a glimpse out of the corner of my eye of Yu Tian's probing gaze fixed on me. Cold sweat instantly soaked my back. I immediately put on a look of shock and distress. Ying, what are you talking about? Why are you being so impulsive? I know you hate Miss Yu, but you can't hurt her like this. As I spoke, I even squeezed out a few tears, as if I were truly heartbroken over Su Ying's impulsive behavior. Su Ying's eyes widened in fury. You bitch. What are you playing at? It was clearly you. Enough. The director interrupted sharply, hand Su Ying over to the police. The security guard dragged Su Ying out. She struggled frantically, her hair disheveled, looking like a madwoman. Xiaoyu. Even as a ghost, I won't let you off the hook. Yu Tian. You two bitches won't die a peaceful death. Her screams gradually faded into the distance. I kept my head down, pretending to wipe away my tears, but in reality I was watching Yu Tian's reaction out of the corner of my eye. Medical staff were bandaging her wound. Her face was pale, yet she wore a faint, almost imperceptible smile. That evening, the hashtag Su Ying stabs someone hashtag went viral across the internet. Public opinion was overwhelmingly critical of Su Ying. A crazy woman like this should be locked up for life. Yu Tian is so pitiful, she almost lost her looks. I suggest permanently banning Su Ying. At the same time, Yu Tian has garnered widespread sympathy for her strong and courageous demeanor, leading to a surge in her fan base. Lu Zai even publicly declared his intention to pursue her, sending fans of the Tianzai ship into a frenzy. As for Su Ying, she has been detained on charges of intentional injury and is awaiting trial. Early the next morning, I packed my bags and got ready to leave the film crew. As soon as I walked into the hotel lobby, a soft voice called out to me. Xiaoyu. My whole body stiffened, and I slowly turned around. Yu Tian stood behind me, her arm wrapped in a bandage, a gentle smile on her face. Are you leaving? I forced a smile. Yu Tian took a step closer and spoke in a very low voice. You sent that anonymous text message, didn't you? My blood ran cold. How could she possibly know? Yu Tian gave a soft chuckle and leaned in close to my ear. Don't worry. I owe you one. That idiot Su Ying deserves to get what's coming to her. Her voice was very soft, but it sent a chill down my spine. People who can make a name for themselves in the entertainment industry are truly remarkable. Not to mention that Yu Tian comes from a powerful background. Su Ying's little tricks are probably nothing to her. Yu Tian took a step back and resumed her gentle, charming demeanor. Keep in touch whenever you have time. After saying that, she turned and walked toward the limousine that had been waiting for some time. Lu Zai personally opened the car door for her, carefully supporting her injured arm. I watched the luxury car drive off into the distance and let out a long sigh. A month later, Su Ying's case went to trial. Due to overwhelming evidence and public pressure, she was convicted of intentional assault and sentenced to 10 years in prison. The school also issued an official announcement expelling her from the school. I sat in the gallery and watched as Su Ying, handcuffed, was led away by the court officers. She was so thin she was barely recognizable, her face was deathly pale, and her eyes were glassy. As she passed by me, she stopped in her tracks, her eyes flashing with hatred. "Xia you! You bitch! It's all your fault! Even as a ghost, I'll never let you off the hook." I watched impassively as she was dragged out of the courtroom. Not a ripple stirred in his heart. As I walked out of the courthouse, the sunlight was just right. The painful memory of being forced into a toilet in a past life vanished into thin air when Su Ying was imprisoned. In this life, I can finally live properly.